or a basic idea of what is meta narrative, and right now we are moving forward with it, that how it is connected to postmodernism. And for your revision, I'm just repeating some examples and explaining these definitions which we have already talked. Defined as a narrative, this meta narrative is defined as a narrative. Narrative means a story, any story which is not fact but just a story or a fiction which doesn't have any proof. So defined as a narrative that claims to explain various events in history, which claims that they are historical events, not just fiction but historical events, what actually happened in history. So this claims to explain various events in history. It is meta narrative is all encompassing story. Classic text, like we have studied the example of Mahabharata, it also claims to be an historical event. So the story, any classic text or archetypal account of the historical record, as I told you, that it is claiming that it already happened in history. They can also provide a framework upon which an individual's own experiences and thoughts may be ordered. So we are living life with some values, morals, and ideas. So all these must be ordered, or we are following these things, and sometimes it is needed to order the society. So it is for individuals and experience and thoughts. For example, this text or this meta narrative is telling us to walk on the path of dharma. So this must be done, and this we should not do. So do's and don'ts. So it is teaching us or giving an explanation that one should do this and that. So it is providing us values, morals, and ideas that one should do this and should not do that. So it is actually framing. It is a framework, framing one's own experiences and thoughts may be ordered. So કોઈ માણસ છે ની જિંદગી તો એ કેવી રીતે જીવવી જોઈએ. So it is giving us a framework that one should walk on this path and live like this. So it is claiming to be an historical event. It can be an all-encompassing story, classic text, archetypal account of the historical record. They can also provide a framework. It is providing us a framework upon which an individual's own experiences and thoughts may be ordered. It is to refer to a theory that tries to give a comprehensive and totalizing account to various historical events and experiences. So it is giving us totalizing. Totalizing means which can be similar and common for everyone. It is common for everyone. So the ideas like dharma, truth, or we should not lie, one should walk on the path of truth. So these are totalizing ideas, universal one, જેને આપણે સનાતન કહીએ છીએ, which can be applied to anyone. So that tries to give a comprehensive, understandable, and totalizing account to various historical events and experiences. So these are trying to give us meaning and understandable meaning to any historical events and experiences. It is also referring to social and cultural phenomena. Why some culture is like this? So the stories are telling about the culture that people of India are like this. Now there must be some stories behind it. The story means meta narrative behind it. So it is explaining social and cultural phenomena based upon the appeal to universal truth. So it is appealing that whatever they are telling is a universal truth. It means it can be applied to anyone. So you can read the story and find something from it, though you belong to different gender, class, caste, or region, but you find that it is applicable to everyone. So entire Hindu religion, or you find that most of the people believe in this type of stories. Type of a storytelling which legitimize. To legitimize means to make something accepted as well as legal. કોઈ પણ વસ્તુને સર્વાનુમતે જેનો સ્વીકાર થાય એવું બનાવી દેવું. So something must be accepted and it is made legal, lawful, so nobody can object it that this is wrong. So these stories are legitimized. So it legitimizes forms of knowledge by supplying them with a validating philosophy of history. So they are providing some important ideas and that are legitimized, that nobody can question and everyone accept it very easily. To legitimize, it is to legitimize power, authority and social customs. They are just to legitimize what is not the truth. But power, some events which happened in history by authority, or it is actually written and created by power, authority and social customs. So it is to legitimize social customs. કે અત્યારે આપણે કોઈ ફેસ્ટિવલ ઉજવીએ છીએ તો એનું કારણ શું કે તો કે આ સ્ટોરી. So we believe in the story. So it is to legitimize social customs. Authority, for example, before some years there was malpractice. Today we are calling it malpractice, but before some years it was called sacrifice or bali. આપણે બલિ પ્રથા હતી. So there were many stories. So these pratha, these social custom is legitimized through different stories. કે બલિ આપવી એમાં કઈ ખોટું નહીં. So many people were killed, many children, even animals are killed. ઘણા બધા animals છે ની બકરીની બલિ આપવામાં આવે છે. So this custom or this narrative is legitimizing the social custom, as well as though it is started by whom that I don't know, but somewhere it is legitimizing some event as well as power and authority. કે authority એ જે કોઈ પણ કામ કર્યું છે, you know, whatever is done by power or the ruler, એ વસ્તુને well accepted, comprehensive એને legitimize કેવી રીતે કરી શકાય તો કે stories are there to legitimize that whatever the ruler has done is correct one, and it must be legitimized. Legitimized એટલે legal બનાવી દેવામાં આવે કે કોઈ પણ વ્યક્તિ એની ઉપર સવાલ કરે નહીં. So killing, yesterday we have seen the idea of killing, that how killing is legitimized through various values and stories of nationalism, patriotism, or even morality. So these how one act is legitimized. So this we have already noted in our previous lecture. Now you know that this word meta narrative is first used by Jean-Francois Lyotard in his work The Postmodern Condition, Report on Knowledge. So this is the first work which defines postmodernism, and it also uses the word meta-narrative. So how he has defined postmodernism? As incredulity towards meta-narrative. Incredulity means distrust or having skeptic attitude. Skeptic is doubtful. So incredulity means doubtful towards meta-narrative. So how it is connected, that we are going to look forward today. But Lyotard was the first one to use the term meta-narrative and define postmodernism, to connect it with postmodernism. Okay, so this meta-narrative, once again, that's what he said in the book. Meta-narrative tries to provide explanation for a range of things objectively, universally, and can be applied to everyone. As we have seen that it is appealing universally. ખાલી એક માણસને નહીં પણ બધાને appeal કરે છે that it is true for everyone. So to walk in the path of dharma is true for everyone, and that's what they used to do. All these stories used to do. And modernism is a meta narrative. Once again, this is how it is connected. Modernism is a meta narrative based on the idea of progress through reason, science, and technological advancement. Now, this we are going to study today, how it is connected to modernism. Okay, so you may got the idea that this meta narrative is somewhere it is to legitimize culture, values, and morals. Second one, it is actually meaning making process. For example, I said you about this killing. So this is something that power is trying to make the meaning, create the meaning. So these how they are creating something and giving it the name of truth. So it is a meaning making process to legitimize something. કોઈ વસ્તુને legal બનાવવી એ વસ્તુ શું થતું કે they are creating a meaning, that what is the meaning they have created uh, by killing someone or providing us a story of killing. So they have created a meaning that you can do something under the name of nationalism. Or when you are providing story of Pandavas, you can do something under the name of dharma. So they have even defined what is dharma and what is not. So this how you find that it is a kind of a meaning making process. The meanings are created from these stories, that how one should get the story, how one should understand the story. એટલે કયા angle થી આપણે story ને જોવી, તો કે we are putting Pandavas in the side of dharma and viewing the story. એટલે કે આપણે એક perspective કે એક view આપી દેવામાં આવે છે કે this how you should view it. So they have created a meaning of that particular dharma. And sometimes you find that though something bad or something immoral is done by Pandava, still they are considered on the side of dharma. કે ભલે કંઈક ખોટું કર્યું હોય પણ છતાં એને આપણે ધર્મના પક્ષ રાખીને જોઈએ છીએ. So they have created meaning of some event. So it is a meaning making process which is considered as a truth. And this meta narrative is a dominant story. It can be हमेशा dominant, which is actually hiding other perspectives and hiding other minor narratives or other minor stories. And mostly it is created, it is noted as a true story. Most એને આપણે truth અથવા તો સાચી વાત એવું કહીએ છીએ, true story, because it is widely accepted by majority or a culture of majority. So other culture or stories are considered as illegitimate. એટલે કે જો બીજું કોઈ culture કે stories છે એની વિરોધનું હોય તો એને કહેવાય illegitimate. They are considered as illegitimate, means not legal one, not legal. But that meta narrative is legitimized, means it is legal, and other is not the legal one. So you find that whatever others do, for example, you may have noticed this. તમને કદાચ ખબર હોય તો શ્રીલંકામાં રાવણનું પણ મંદિર છે. So Ravan is a hero there, and Ram is hero for us. So we consider that to make Ravan as a hero is illegitimate. That's why it is not in our culture, but some other culture respect it. They have their own hero. So you find that our meta narrative is not including the story of Ravan, because we used to watch with a kind of a perspective. એટલે આપણે એને જુદા perspective થી જોઈએ છીએ. This how Ram is God for us. But Sri Lanka is viewing it differently. Sri Lanka છે એની માટે રાવણ હીરો છે, એનો હીરો અલગ છે, because they have their different point of view to look at the story or to look at their meta narrative. So for other culture it is different. Like this, for us it is illegitimate. So to view other culture which is opposite of our narrative, that is illegitimate for us. So because we believe in one particular kind of meta narrative, આપણે એક મેટા નેરેટિવમાં વિશ્વાસ કરીએ એટલે આપોઆપ other culture or stories are considered as illegitimate. So for example, if we consider that to kill someone, અથવા તો જે બલિ પ્રથા છે, to give sacrifice of animal, this is wrong. So it is wrong for us, but not wrong or not a crime for other culture. So we consider it illegitimate, એટલે કે એને આપણે legal માનતા નથી, એને આપણે જુદું કહીએ છીએ, because this our story or our meta narrative of non-violence is dominant and it is accepted by majority. એટલે majority શેમાં માને છે? Believes in non-violence. That's why we believe that this non-violence is actually legal and પેલું જે બલિ આપે, that is illegal, that is illegitimate. This how I watched one photo, I watched one image in Facebook today, which is telling that Kumbh Mela, you find that we celebrated or we allowed people to go in Kumbh Mela and we don't object because it is hurting our religious sentiment if we are speaking against it, though they are not following corona guidelines. પણ કુંભ મેળામાં જાય, કુંભ મેળામાં આટલા માણસો ભેગા થાય, then there is no problem. But if people are creating problem, people are criticizing. Before a year ago, where there was Tablighi Jamaat, and there were many people met at the time. So it was highly criticized by media. But this is the similar thing. Both are religious programs, or you can say that conferences where people met and they stayed together and they became the hub or the reason for corona spread or this COVID spread. So many people died due to this religious ceremonies, but nobody is paying attention. Like this, there was election going on in West Bengal, and we don't you find that media is not talking about following corona guidelines at the time of election propaganda or election campaigns. So you find that because it is talking about authority, કેમ કે authority એના હાથમાં છે, or it is about power, so the narration or a meta narrative is hiding it, or it is not allowing other minor narratives, or you can say that કે બીજા point of view છે એ રીતે જોવા જ નથી દેતો. So we don't find any problem in Kumbh Mela, but we find a problem in Tablighi Jamaat, and people criticize it કે આટલા બધા માણસો કેમ મળ્યા, but because it is the talk of majority, but majority છે એ હિન્દુની છે, that's why they don't find any problem in Kumbh Mela. So this is a kind of a dominant story, or it is considered as true and legitimized, and other culture or stories are considered as illegitimate. So I hope you understood it very well. Are you getting me clearly?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So you find there is another example, and this how we are connecting it to postmodernism. Now mostly you find that all these grand stories or narrative is Western one. It's not Eastern but Western one. Now this can be understood with an example of a civilization. Now what is the idea of civilization? You find that that these white people used to rule India and many other countries for a long period of time. So they have established a grand narrative or a story which talks about a civilization. So they have defined the concept of civilization. It is actually not civilization, but you will find that it is Western civilization. So what is the idea of civilization they have developed, or we understood So through narration of different stories, through explaining us different ideas, they have defined the meaning of civilization, and it is widely accepted because they have ruled many countries and they were on the power. So they have defined civilization as an idea with telling different minor narratives. So these are minor narratives. Minor means, I mean, promoting the grand narrative, minor stories, and they define that this civilization is related to education system they have created, which uh, provides which is spreading the western idea of civilization. Okay, civilization એટલે for example English education. So they have developed the idea, or you can say that they have developed the system of English education. Not only this one, but they have also told us stories of science, that scientific advancement is something that we need, so that there were machines created and technical tools are there. And they say that it is, if you are creating technical tools, machines, then you are doing civilization, અથવા you are proceeding forward with development. તો ડેવલપમેન્ટ થાય છે. સો ઇફ યુ આર એસ્ટાબ્લિશિંગ મશીન્સ ટૂલ, પછી ભલે એ ગમે તેવા હોય, મશીન ગન જ કેમ ન હોય, પરમાણુ બોમ્બ જ કેમ ન હોય, બટ ઇફ your science is advanced, then you are moving forward to development or civilization. This is the western idea of civilization. Then development through architecture, કે મોટે મોટે બિલ્ડિંગ બનાવી નાખો, પછી ભલે જંગલ કાપી નાખે. So this concrete jungles, if you're creating તમારી buildings છે કેટલી ઊંચી છે, this is giving this is defining the development and civilization. So that's what they defined civilization as. Another one is culture. So if you are sitting on the floor, if you are not sitting on the table and chair, then you are not considered as a civilized human being. Or if you are eating with your hands without using spoon and fork, then your culture is not civilized. So this how they have the grand story or narrative of civilization. And it seems that their culture, western culture, is the only one which is civilized, and they are trying to make other cultures like them. So what about other people and culture like Africa, or what about the people who are living in jungles? Are they not civilized? Or how they can accept the definition of civilization as having education, or concrete forests, or if they are living near to nature, if they are living in the nature, in the forest, then can we say that they are not civilized? But they have their own narrative, and it is opposed, it is not accepted, because we believe in this grand story, grand narrative of western civilization. એટલે આપણે આ સ્ટોરીમાં માનીએ છીએ, એટલે આપણને એ લોકો કેવા લાગે છે, આદિવાસી કે uncivilized. We all believe that they are uncivilized, they don't have manners if they are eating with their hand, if they are not wearing this formal clothes or three-piece suit, then we think that they are not civilized. So because we are believing in the grand story of civilization, which is actually created by western world or white people, we believe that all these black women, they are ugly, they are dark, because the concept of beauty is defined as fair or having fairness. So because western people, because west English people are having fair skin, it doesn't mean that fairness is beauty. So this how all these this narration of civilization, it is developed by who were in the power, or who was in the power, that is English people, that is the Western world, and they are implementing this for everyone. એટલે કે બધામાં implement કરે છે. So for example, you know, our color scheme, our color of skin is actually brown. So can you change the color? We cannot do this. Even the color of skin of African people, or their color is very different. They are black, but it is because of their atmosphere. They live, because they live in hot areas કે ત્યાં ગરમી વધારે પડે છે, એટલે they are not going to change, and their color is not going to change. એ ગમે એટલી ક્રીમ લગાડી લે, ફેરનેસ ક્રીમ, તો પણ એમાં કઈ ચેન્જ આવશે નહીં. So they can never be fair as these white people. So how can they believe, how can they accept the idea that beauty means fairness or beauty means whiteness? So that's why they are considered as ugly. So the problem is that one should not follow this meta narration which is created by power. એટલે કે આ મેટા નરેશન છે કોઈ પણ વસ્તુનું હોય, એ સિવિલાઇઝેશનનું હોય, ડેવલપમેન્ટનું હોય, કે પછી religion offer કરેલું હોય, but one should not follow it, because it is different. It depends, you know, you must have your own meta narration. It means this minor narrative means other culture have their own narration. Like a black people, they have to define themselves as beautiful, so they must have their own narrative. They should believe in another narrative instead of following the meta narration of Western world. So this how this postmodernism believes in minor narratives. They value minor narratives because they think that there's as I told you earlier, that truth, moral, values, everything is relative. It relates to culture. It depends on culture. Culture અલગ છે તો તમારું narration અલગ હોવાનું, તમારા values, morals, truths એ બધા અલગ હોવાના. So there cannot be any totalizing or universal ideas or truth. So this narration cannot be applied to other culture. Now these other culture, આની માટે એને પોતાનું narrative છે એ અલગ હોવાનું. So this meta narration cannot be applied to different cultures. It is good for, it is better for Western world only, not for other culture and other region. So this is the idea of meta narrative, that how this must be criticized. That's why this postmodernism is actually incredulity or having distrust in meta narrative, because it was created by power, and it is just legitimized to, or it is dominating other people. એટલે આ બીજાને dominate કરે છે, and that's why other culture have their own narratives, and they are also important and valuable. બીજા જે નાના નાના minor narratives છે એ પણ એટલા જ important છે. So the story of Eklavya in Mahabharata, or this story of Khandoprast, where entire race is killed or the forest is burned, and these narration is important as well. So if you look with that angle, you will find that the meta narrative is problematic. Okay, so now we are going to connect it with postmodernism, and this is something very serious ideas. Now you find that how it is connected with the age, like age of World War II. I hope you know that postmodernism begins after World War II. So how it is connected with the age? Now you find that in 18th century there was a philosophy, there was it is known as the age of enlightenment and reason. આવું કદાચ તમે સાંભળ્યું હશે, that 18th century was considered as age of enlightenment or reason. At the time, there was a philosophy and ideology developed, and they support reason and science. It used to tell, the ideology used to tell that we can develop, I mean, human development can happen with these two values, that is reason and freedom. Reason means through science, reason means through scientific development, and freedom one can achieve through democracy. So this is the meta narrative. This was the meta narrative of the Enlightenment period. So all the disciplines, all the discourses like science, philosophy, arts, humanities, and everyone, each and every discourse believed that human development can do progress, or can happen, human development can happen only with being rational or through this scientific development. And another one is a democracy. We can achieve freedom through democracy, and one can do progress through scientific advancement. So this was the meta narrative. All the stories, all the discourses like philosophy, uh, science, humanities, all supported this one, that human development can happen only with scientific advancement, or we can achieve liberty, freedom through democracy. એટલે કે બધા જે discourses છે એ બધા એક જ વાત કહેતા હતા, that scientific development is must and necessary. Now, so there was a faith, enlightenment faith and ideas were in favor of science and technology as instruments of human progress. Now, you find that what is actually happening if there is scientific development in in direction to the destruction instead of development. So I'm coming to that point. So so it is to adapt totalizing systems of thought or grand meta-narratives of human biological, historical, and social development. So it is actually totalizing meta-narrative of Enlightenment period, that this one, the science and democracy, or reason and freedom, where the savior of humanity, or through scientific development, scientific technology, they can proceed. એટલે કે because they want to fight through sorry, because they wanted to fight against superstitions, which was coined and established by a religion. So in Enlightenment period, 18th century, people believed that they can fight against this religious superstitions with being scientific and rational. એટલે કે લોજિકલ બની જાઓ, રેશનલ બની જાઓ, સાયન્સ છે એને વધારે મહત્વ આપો, then you can fight with this. So there were discourses which favor it. એટલે કે બધા પુસ્તકો છે કે બધી disciplines છે એ બધા એક જ વાત કહેતા, that you should be rational, you should be logical to fight against these superstitions, and human development can only happen with scientific advancement. But what happened actually when people after World War II witnessed the destruction which was caused by scientific development? એટલે કે જ્યારે હિરોશિમા અને નાગાસાકી ઉપર હુમલો થયો, at the time they started hating science and technology, કે કોઈ સાયન્સ કે ટેકનોલોજી છે ડિસ્ટ્રક્શન કેટલી માત્રામાં કરી શકે. They got the idea and their faith collapsed. એટલે કે જે સાયન્સમાં જે ફેથ હતો, જે વિશ્વાસ હતો કે સાયન્સ છે આપણને ઉપર લઈ જશે, એ બધું નીચે પડી ગયું. that they got the idea કે સાયન્સ જેનાથી કોઈનું ડેવલપમેન્ટ કે પ્રોગ્રેસ થવાની નથી. Humanity is going to die. There is a destruction caused by science. So their faith collapsed. So with this, they started hating this Enlightenment faith and idea. And of course, there was a rise of postmodernism. So they started heating this meta narrative, which is totalizing. એટલે જે western civilization કે western enlightenment છે એની જે stories છે meta narrative છે જેને એવું કીધું હતું that human development, biological, historical or social, આ development છે એ આનાથી થઈ શકે છે reason and science, or you can achieve freedom through democracy. So એ જે પણ વાર્તાઓ બધી કીધેલી હતી traditional stories, they started hating it, they rejected it, that there can't be development through science. It is due to this World War II, and another reason is Holocaust. Holocaust એટલે mass killing. So this is the reason, this World War II is the reason that they started hating it. એટલે પરિસ્થિતિ એવી આવે કે તમને જે પણ શીખવાડ્યું છે કે જે તમે મગજમાં શીખ્યા છો, વેલ્યુઝ સાથે ચાલો છો, એ વેલ્યુઝ કોઈ કામ આવતા નથી, and you started falling down. If you are believing in some particular values, then you started hating it. So all these theories means enlightenment stories, and there's grand theories of like Marxism, Christianity, religion, or I said that there's enlightenment theories. All these enlightenment theories are pernicious, not merely because they are false, but because they effectively impose conformity on other perspectives or discourses. કે ભાઈ જરૂરી નથી કે એક જ રીતે આપણે એક જ એંગલથી આપણે જોઈ શકીએ. There must be different perspectives, but these theory, this enlightenment logic or enlightenment theories, they are imposing conformity on other perspectives or discourses. એ એને પણ dominate કરે છે કે ના અમે કહીએ એમ જ સાચું. Our idea of beauty is equal to fairness. This is the only idea. Your idea of beauty is, this is not important. So they are dominating over other perspectives and discourses. Thereby it is oppressing and marginalizing or silencing them. Silencing them means other perspectives and other culture. So they put every other culture, other societies, other region, countries, and other ideologies in margin. Margin એટલે કે હાસ્યમાં ધકેલી દેવી. So they have put everything in the margin and silenced them. એટલે એ સિવાય બીજી કોઈ theory કે ideology હોય એનું એટલું મહત્વ હતું નહીં. So they were not giving an importance, and they started dominating it. So that's why these theories, enlightenment theories and beliefs and faith, they oppressed other point of views. કે જો it is not possible that I am the only one who is correct. હું જ સાચી, બીજું કોઈ સાચું નહીં, અથવા તો મારો મત એક જ સાચો, બીજો સાચો નહીં. This cannot happen. So there can be multiplicity of truth. So they were totalizing. આ બધી કેવી theories છે? They were totalizing, and they imposed conformity on other perspectives or discourses, thereby oppressing, marginalizing, or silencing them. Now the project of modernity, of course we have studied this modern age. So this modernity consisted in the effort of enlightenment thinkers. Now this modernity is based on enlightenment. Modernity, modern idea to find coherence and unity through reason. Now this is very much enlightenment idea. So this ideology is based on enlightenment thinkers. And what was the idea? To develop objective science, universal morality and law, and autonomous art according to their inner logic. એટલે કે this modernity believed in establishing objective science. એટલે કે શું કરતા હતા? તો કે they need coherency, unity, universal morality, આવું બધું જોઈએ છે. They needed a law, and they believed that this can be achieved through ઇનર લોજિક, એટલે આ બધું લોજિકથી કદાચ મેળવી શકાય, કદાચ મળી શકે. સો they believed in these enlightenment ideas and they believed in the ideologies of enlightenment thinker. So this is the thing which postmodernism rejected. Opposed, and that is the meta narratives in which modernism believed કે લોજિક અથવા તો લોજિક અથવા તો રીઝન કે સાયન્ટિફિક એડવાન્સમેન્ટથી કંઈ પણ સુધરી શકે કે પછી ઓબ્જેક્ટિવ there can be any objective એટલે કેવું કે બધા માટે સરખું, અલગ અલગ હોય નહીં. Objective and universal means true for everyone, but this can never happen because one thing cannot be common for everyone. So there must be different laws, different science, different morality. એક મોરલ વસ્તુ ખોટું બોલવું એક સમયે સારું હોય તો બીજા સમયે ખરાબ હોય, અથવા તો કોઈ પણ એક કામ છે એ એક માણસ માટે સારું હોય, બીજા માણસ માટે ખરાબ હોય. So this cannot happen, but modernity believed in this meta narrative of ideas and values to bring this objective science, universal morality and law and autonomous art according to their inner logic. Now this can never happen. So postmodernism means incredulity, means having distrust or doubt in meta narrative of modernism. એટલે કે રીઝન, લોજિક કે સાયન્સથી હ્યુમન ડેવલપમેન્ટ થશે, આ મેટા નેરેટિવ છે એની પ્રત્યેનો અવિશ્વાસ. સો પોસ્ટ મોડર્નિઝમ doubt, it presents doubts that there can be advancement, there can be human development through science. એટલે કે પેલું જે આવડું મોટું મેટા નેરેટિવ છે કે આવડી મોટી સ્ટોરી છે કે ભાઈ રીઝન અને સાયન્સથી માણસ જાતિની પ્રગતિ થઈ શકે. હવે એ વર્લ્ડ વોર સેકન્ડના લીધે એ જે ફેથ જે હલી ગયો, એન્ડ ધેટ્સ વાય ઇટ પ્રેઝન્ટ્સ અ ડાઉટ કે આવું કઈ શક્ય બને, બીકોઝ દે હેવ વિટનેસ્ડ ડિસ્ટ્રક્શન, કે પરમાણુ બોમ્બથી કે પછી મશીન ગનના એડવાન્સમેન્ટથી જે ડિસ્ટ્રક્શન એ લોકોએ જોયું એની ઉપરથી એનો ફેથ હલી ગયો, એન્ડ ધેટ્સ વાય they started presenting the doubt that all these meta narrative, આવી કોઈ પણ વાત જે એવું કહેતી હોય કે આનાથી આવું થશે કે પછી રીઝન અને સાયન્સથી હ્યુમન ડેવલપમેન્ટ થશે, એ કોઈ પણ મેટા નેરેટિવ કે સ્ટોરીઝમાં they started presenting their doubt, એ વિશ્વાસ એનો હલી જાય છે. So they started putting question on all these meta narratives and it values minor narratives. It means minor narratives means they started valuing each and every culture, each and every situation which has its own narratives. So we started valuing Eklavya in the meta narrative of Mahabharata. So there can be stories which is written in favor of Eklavya. There is the point of view of Duryodhan, which the story tells that Duryodhan is also correct or right. So there can be stories of Khandav Prast or eco criticism presents that no, this meta narrative is false and this minor narrative, our minor narrative is valuable. So this how postmodernism values all the alternate or minor narratives and presents that all these are important. આ બધા છે એ સરખા ઇમ્પોર્ટન્ટ છે, એન્ડ બધાને એક સરખી રીતે મેટા નેરેટિવ લાગુ પડે એવું જરૂરી નથી. સો ધ ડેફિનેશન ઓફ બ્યુટી મીન્સ ફેરનેસ can't be true for every culture. એટલે કે કલ્ચર પ્રમાણે બ્યુટીની ડેફિનેશન છે એ અલગ અલગ હોવી જોઈએ. સો they thought beauty means beauty doesn't mean fairness, પણ બ્લેક છે તો એ પણ બ્યુટીફુલ હોય, બ્રાઉન ઇટ મીન્સ યુ આર ઓલ્સો બ્યુટીફુલ, કે કલ્ચર પ્રમાણે એની ડેફિનેશન છે અલગ અલગ હોવી જોઈએ. સો ધીસ ઇઝ called incredulity towards meta narrative. Okay, are you getting the idea?